Hi Hannah, sorry for the delay due to my voice. I lost it for a few days. But anyhow, just a few things that we covered. First of all, the very initial swing, we noticed that you were going a little bit inside, and you could see the little extra movement with the shoulders and the head, and it was sort of an extra turn to complete the swing, eyes looking back this way. When you look at this front view, what was noticeable here was the way you came into impact, and also because your upper body had moved off the ball that much, you had to really shift a lot to be on top of it. And then sometimes if you don't get on top of it under pressure, then you could catch it a little bit heavy or thin, and then it also could add to scooping it, and then also the reaction to that would be blocking it. So it was just really the body motion at impact that we really focused on to trap the ball and get a consistent strike. And then also there was a lot more power, and then also hitting down on the ball with the hybrids was very valuable. So you can see the plane of the swing coming down, coming from the inside. The only thing was just tilting back at impact, so it was really not compressed, and but plenty of power. Once you started striking down on it, you notice how much power you had. And so we used a couple of players just to reference. First of all, we'll look at the backswing, and we noticed, obviously, just to refresh our memories, with the Adam Scott start and the Hunter Mahan start and Nick Price, everybody, you notice that the club just stays in front. Yours just went inside a little bit, and you can see there's a little sit down move that created a little bit of that, and instead of a sort of a more of a putting stroke, so kind of a rocking motion to get the club working up on plane, so then you don't have to fight getting it inside on the way down. So you can see his is just a little bit steeper, and the right elbow is more visible here, and your right elbow was just sort of folding down too early, so that created the flatter backswing and getting the hands a little bit deeper. So then you had to bring it back out around, out this way, and then had to slow down just to get the club to come from the inside. And so that's where the slowing down of the body, it wasn't a lack of speed or power, it was just your body just trying to save the club to hit the shot you wanted. And then it resulted in just slowing down the club head speed just to hit a straight shot. So as you can see, Adam's in a position that he has to accelerate, otherwise he would just leave it out to the right. So he has to clear, and that's what we were emphasizing with yours in the last day or so when we worked on your swing. And you can see he's really on top of things there, and yours will just look like you're just striking up on it. You see how the shoulder goes up, the left shoulder there where the arrow is, and you can also see your left forearm a little bit longer than his if we go post impact. And so that meant you would that's just a sign of the body trying to save the plane or the entry of the club to ball. So excuse me. So we went then to Hunter Mahan, and I'll show you Hunter. It's funny, he was there the other day after you left, and you can see his club there in relation to the forearm. So you talk about that's being very square. People would think that's close, but it's not. It's just the angle of the arm matching the spine. If you tilted him upright, the club would be dead parallel. So that was the most important thing. So it's easier when the club works out in front of you. It just stays in front of the forearms going back, so basically between this triangle, rather than getting behind the triangle. Makes it a lot easier to shallow it on the way down. So that's the most important thing. And then even Jack Nicklaus, you can see what he does on the way back, and he really flies that right elbow, but you can tell that he works it up steeper. And then also Nick Price and a number of players, even let's use some of the girls, Michelle Wee for instance, and we've kind of got the gist of just that backswing portion. So you can see how she's rehearsing it, a little bit exaggerated there, and then you can see as you go back how the club's much more in front, and looks like Hunter Mahan's also where it's facing that way. People would think that's shut, but it's not. It's just matching. Shut would be David Duval. So, and even if you were shut, it's a lot more powerful. There's been a lot more great players with a stronger club face than a weak one. Freddie Couples, Ernie House were great players with their having a weak club at the top of the swing where it's hanging, but they really had to release their hands through impact, and it required a lot of timing. They were good players, but not the best out there, because they had to rely on a lot of timing. And I know Ernie very well, so he always said he had to work on timing. So we want to eliminate timing. And if I showed you Duval, who was probably one of the best ball strikers, and for many, until he had some in the ear problems, you can see that's a typical shot in relation to the arm. So that would what you call a shut club face. However, that makes you have to get it to come from the inside and keep moving forward, because if the club releases past you, it's going left. So he had to actually keep moving his body so the toe wouldn't catch up. Alright, so enough of that. Now we'll go back to the front, the changes. But first of all, the impact, we're just going to go straight to the impact areas of Tiger Woods. This is in 07, and then we'll get yours at impact. And if I draw a line straight up, you can see your shoulders shy of that, and it stays behind it. You can see his is going through, his right side goes through extremely well, yours is struggling to get through there. And then if we go to Adam Scott, different coaches, different players, you can see once again same thing. So there's a common theme here with these players. They all do the same thing. If I showed you Ernie House, he's also flush to the wall. Nick Price, anybody who are great ball strikers, you'll see them really into their left side here. And there's a brick wall when I draw a line straight up from the outside of the shoe there. So that's what you call compressing the ball. Let me go back to Michelle Wee just so that you can see that there is a common theme. I'll put her at impact and draw a line straight up there. So there's your common theme that you see from this face view, the front view, should I say. So let's go now to the changes that we made. And number one, we're going to look at the plane, and this is when we got the HD camera out. It was easy for you to see. Okay, a computer sitting in front of you right there, and Ken would have loved it. Please say hi to Ken and your family for me. So there's the old plane, and then this is the one where we were working on getting you to go up the plane line. And you can see the old one under the plane, and then this one was working above the line. So you really want to keep that always above. And you can see your club got shorter and more in line, and then when you came down it obviously dropped under the plane, but that was okay because we were focusing just to get the backswing. That was first. Then thereafter we focused on the front view, and we got you to try and hit into the wall right there. And I'll just put the line up from the edge of your shoe, and that's is really good there. So you can see how you're really trapping the ball, and we put that stick just so that it made you feel like you were having to hit down on it, or, so that you made sure you felt like you're moving your upper body on top of the ball, and it would be stacked on top of the lower body. So that looks very good there. If we take the old one again and we go to impact, you can see your head's back. I mean, that's okay for a driver if you look like that, but we're not hitting a driver because the driver is usually struck slightly on the upswing. Irons, you want to compress them, that's where you get the spin. So you can see you're not quite stacked there on top, and so this was very good what you were doing here, and you can see how easy it was going through. Yeah, you were struggling to get through the ball, and so we had to start off with some little knockdown punches, and so that was fantastic. I like what you did there. And then going back, when we went inside into the gym when it was raining, we worked on the plane and how you were pulling that band back there and using the left side. You had it hooked underneath the side here, and then we did this side, the front on, and you can see the good winding back, and then also split handed. When you do this exercise is good because it helps the arms move, have to move equally, and both of them have to work, do their work. Otherwise, if one dominates another, you'd notice it tremendously. And also this band would have flipped out above your arm if you had gone inside there. And then we also worked on going through, getting the lag. So you had to you had to get the the button of the club to lead here, because if you didn't, the band you wouldn't feel the band pulling. So this was teaching you to get a little bit more lag and use your body. Otherwise you would have just felt the club head releasing this. It would have gone past you and you wouldn't have felt any tension here. So the idea was to feel you creating tension from getting the butt end to lead through impact, and this is a great exercise for chipping. And then you did it again from towards me, and you can see when you come through how quiet the club head is. And that's very important. That's what all tour players talk about, is the club head being very quiet through the impact area. And if you've got the club sort of de-loft a little bit and very quiet, then you don't require having to use your hands a lot. So this is a good exercise. It gets you using your body, and very simple move. And then we went on the next day, and you can see how you improved it immediately, because I always film that first swing initially, and you can see you fixed it immediately, right off the get-go there. And this was, I think, one of the last days, or second last day, and you can see we got you to lead off, and you can see that improved a lot. So I was very happy, very proud of you for doing such good work and getting that right. And then we worked on just feeling like you're swinging under that stick. So it means that when you go through, you feel your hands traveling in a circle there, and in the backswing you feel your hands traveling in a half circle like that, and the club will be traveling on an outer circle and on an outer circle coming back. So that was the point of the stick being there, to help you feel like you're not going out to right field and hitting up on it. You're going down the line and left through impact. That helps your upper body get more on top of the lower, and that's very good there. This was a great exercise. I like that one, and so good job there. And then we used we checked the face on. We did some knockdowns. You can see how your body moves efficiently. Yeah, and you're getting right on top of the ball. It looks very level here. This is exciting because your body is very level, and it's going to be easy on the body for the rest of your golfing career. When you get tilted like that, it just puts a little stress on the lower back, but that's not too serious. Don't worry about that. But this is fantastic here. So what you're doing here is excellent. Then we definitely went over to the short game and started looking at the little shots, and you can see it was a bit of a scoop. So we got you to feel like you're going to hinge it, get your feet closer. So you're just going to start hinging it here. These are the good ones. So we got you just to feel like there's a bit of a hinge immediately, and then compress it. There you go. So you can see, even out of bad lies, you want to have that move there, or if there's no room, then you play a bunker shot. But generally, if we look at the original one, you can see that's too sweepy, which creates a little inconsistent spin. And then also, if you need to spin it, you just want to get that nice compact crisp little strike on the ball. When you got a tight lies over here, then it's okay to sweep it a lot more, because you know, it could be, if the grain was growing this way, you don't want to hit into the grain where the leading edge catches. So yeah, that's where the sweeping motion comes in handy. So this is a very good one, because it just keeps you more centered as you're moving, as you're coiling back, and the weight stays on the front, and then you strike down on it. You can see the lag. So this is a mini version of your swing. That's what you want to really incorporate in your full swing. So this was good. And then we did some knockdown shots on the final day, where we got you to toe the club in, and you can see how you're towing it in for some of those little pitches. And then here's a nice little punch shot with your 6-iron, and you're really going into your left side. Wow, it was cold that day. Amazing, it's warm now. A week later, it feels like it was never a colder day. Anyhow, good strike. You see the hands leading in there. Fantastic. And then the driver, like I said, you know, don't worry if the driver is a little bit closed at this point and at the top, because it allows us to get we because it's teed up, we're allowed to hit up on it. So with it being closed, it's going to make it come from the inside a little bit more and get you that sort of draw spin. If you'd got the club face a little bit more open, then it requires getting the club more steep, a little bit steeper, and you probably start using your hands to try and square it up. So more players have been successful with it just being a touch close rather than open. And then face on looks fantastic. Ball position great, backswing was very good. All I would pay attention to is this head occasionally for the extra turn, but because your wrists and elbow hadn't folded completely, that's why you did that. And once you get the elbow to fold, then it's okay. Now that's okay, hitting up on it, that's how you get your power. And don't worry, because all the players do fall back at impact. You know, when you look at their driver, so Annika, for instance, let's put her face on, and you can see we'll put a circle around her head, and she used to wind off the ball and stay behind, as you can see there. So that's okay at impact. Yours is, you know, eventually you'll clean this up a little bit more. You know, it doesn't need much cleaning up, but that's just a reaction. So the irons will probably cure that. But otherwise, when it comes to 3-wood, heading down on it a little bit more, and the hybrid, remember hybrids are just a bigger version of an iron. Okay. It's just and people always forget that you got to hit down on your hybrids, and even hitting down on a 3-wood is fine because it's going to make it go straight. It's just when we try and sweep it, we hit it left. The more lofted the club is and sweeping it, the more it will go left because of the loft. That's why people always, you know, hate hybrids. Most of the good players, you know, from junior levels up to pros, they hate hybrids because they seem to miss them left, and that's because they're not compressing them, they're actually sweeping them. So when you compress a hybrid, then it starts out straight, and it's meant to be hit. You're meant to be hitting down on it, just like the iron. The iron just had less resistance, that's why it used to dig into the ground a lot more. But hybrids, treat them like an iron. Don't be afraid to take divots. And your 3-wood, don't be afraid to take a divot too. So if you feel uncomfortable, but you'll soon get the spin working great, and the ball start flying higher, and you're going to notice that you're going to start getting more distance because you're adding more de-lofting every club. So you're turning a 7-iron into a 6-iron. So otherwise, a great week, other than being rained out there a couple of days. We finally got it in. I think it was very worthwhile, and I'm very proud of the progress that you're making, and keep up the good work. And remember, putting, you just the putting arc, find it and then follow it, don't touch it. Remember that. So that was the reason why your stroke kind of went in, around and out and back in. So that's because you're putting pressure on that putting arc, and it even indicates as a piece of paper, they're saying you don't want to press against it, you want to just follow it. And I've seen many people, as I said, people that have used it, and then you look at their SAM putting numbers, and then when they use a putting arc and they forget to follow it, and they just use it, press against it, they come back and then they've got that little loop in their stroke, and then the numbers that look worse. So remember, any teaching aid that's used for like a direction or a plane, follow it, don't touch it, because you got to do the work, not that. Otherwise, when you take away the teaching aid, it's going to have no more resistance to make you look good, and then you're going to start, the muscles have been training to fight against the the plane, and so that's why you'll loop it in and out. So basically your putting went this way out and this way, and that's because of the arc of this. So find it, it's not hurting you, but now just follow it and don't touch it. So good job. Oh, and one more thing, Poana, just I would hit slightly up on the ball, maybe move it forward. Tiger Woods does that too. He moves the ball forward on Poana greens in Bermuda or any slow green, because then he can strike up on it, where he gives it almost an overspin immediately. Can even like Dave Stockton, how he promotes the left hand forward and then hits up on it. That's perfect for Poana. I know some great players that actually putted better on Poana greens out in California once they learned to hit up on it, and it feels like you're hitting a topspin, but you're not. But it helps the ball stay on line. When you hit down on it, it sort of jumps off line immediately. So don't worry about Poana. Just say, I'm going to become a great putter on Poana, rather than going, I don't like those greens. So we always say, if it's windy, you want to learn to play the wind, and then you've beaten 75% of the field. So any adverse conditions, or the greens are not great, or they're slow, that's even better for everybody, for you, because you'll be able to adapt to it. When the greens are perfect, the weather's perfect, everybody's going to have a good score. So be a great all-weather player, and whenever you hear people complaining about the greens, you stay out of the conversation and you'll be fine. All right, good luck, and have a good season, and we'll speak to you soon. Anytime you need to send your swing, just send it to me, no problem, and I'll check it and send it back for you. All right, so keep those two key things: the backswing, club in front of you, and then impact, get swinging into the wall. Okay, good, Hannah. Take care. Bye-bye.